Hey everybody out there, my name is Kris Nicholson. I'm a honky-tonk ragtime pianist. Usually I talk about keyboards, pianos, and even me playing a piano for you, but today I want to talk about this place. This place is in the heart of Tampa Bay, Florida, which is called Graham's Place Hostel. Now, you might judge the outside of it because it is kind of very interesting. So here am I actually walking up to the front deck, and I had to take my luggage up here. And there's a keypad. Of course, you have to memorize the code. But when you open up the door, you have all of these, just lots of pictures and artwork. And I tell you this place kind of takes you away from Tampa. It looks kind of like Key West that you entered. There is a map up there that people actually put their pins on wherever they're from around the world. And the whole outside area is basically kind of like a front deck. So you have a little sitting area, and also you have a jacuzzi area. The jacuzzi is very, very warm. People like to dip their feet in or actually go in there. It's actually clothing optional. And I tell you this, we have such good times out here. On to the right side, right over there, that is actually going to be a little store where they're going to sell snacks and beverages. And it's in the process of opening up. So let's go into one of the main houses. This house over here, of course, there's a keypad on almost every door. Look at that. There's a piano right there. But this is like a living room, a dining room area, a sit-in area. You actually have an indoor kitchen right over here. This one house actually has shared rooms. That's where the number 3 on that door is at. And right behind there, right over by the bathroom, that's my room. This piano was so out of whack, so out of tune when I first played it. But I took my tools and I fixed it up. Now it sounds like a grand piano. I tell you this, being in this little dining room, area, and you have a kitchen, they provide you with plates. You have all the condiments right over here. It's kind of like old-timey. But what I like about it is that people, they don't just cook for themselves. They share their food. So we all have different ingredients and we share our food and everything. And in this kitchen, you have actually a fridge, you have a deep sink, a stove, and you also have a microwave, and you have utensils. And of course, we keep it clean. There's a wood fire stove, but it's not working. And there's the piano again. And there's a lot of unused guitars that is just around the whole place. You see violins, guitars, all different kind of instruments. This is one of the shared bathrooms that's right by my room. My room was a mess, so I was kind of ashamed to show it to you guys. But this has a nice sink, and you have a beautiful shower. Okay, so now we're going to walk out of this house. These are actually 2 houses combined together. And back to the outside deck area. So as I'm walking, I could tell you that to the right, that's another shared room. And over here, that's not a reception area, but it's just a little area where they have beads. That water fountain is the cleanest water fountain. Okay, so over here, you have another shared room. It's actually called the train room. It's dedicated to trains, and they have artworks of railroad crossing. And I don't know how many people is actually sharing that room. This over here is the outdoor kitchen, and has a nice conventional stove, microwave. And we just like to sit out here and talk. That picture is dedicated to the train room. And right there you see it says Tampa Heights train station. Me growing up from New York, this kind of feel like you're going up an elevated train like an MTA station or kind of like a roller coaster. Okay, so as you are up there, basically right at that door is that's another shared room. That's a big shared room. I thought it was just a little hut till I looked inside of it. So you keep on going up, and when you keep on going up, it says porch closes, at 10 basically. But this is actually called the Crow's Nest. Now, before I got here, this place looked a lot different, and the Crow's Nest went all the way to the other side of basically the roof where the Grams Place Hostel sign is at. The neighborhood is so quiet. I think we're the loudest ones there, but the neighborhood is so nice and charming. And I tell you this, nobody bothers us, which is very, very nice. You can even walk at night. It's very nice. You won't believe it. That Crow's Nest, I actually had to put a 12-foot panda bear costume that I usually perform out with up there. And coming down, I felt so dizzy because Florida, it gets really, really hot. But I tell you this, people like to go up there just to clear their minds and just to think. And the people there, they're so open-minded about everything. And I tell you this, is that they listen to you. They don't criticize, they listen to you. We were like a family. We were like a family there, which is really neat. You have an area where you can wash clothes, and you have separate lockers if you wanted to have the lockers. And there's Gigi. She is so nice and so welcoming. And this area over here, that's going to be the private rooms, and that's a little sit-in area. And there is the logo of Grams Place Hostel. Okay, so before we get to the private rooms, let me show you this. They set up chairs for me, everybody. The reason of that is because they hired me to actually come and perform. So I had to take my piano with me. And this was a portable little grand piano that I took. I thought that would be nice and charming for the situation. Of course, you see the panda bear right there. That's my little trademark. And so over here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to enter the private rooms. As you can see, there's musical instruments all around. This is called the Holland. Now, the first private room that we're gonna enter is actually called the Rock and Roll Room. This is the room when I first came to Grams Place Hostel. This is the room that I stayed in. And I saw that keyboard there. I'm like, oh wow, they knew that I was coming. I didn't have to bring one of my keyboards. So that keyboard was kind of out of whack. So I took it apart, cleaned it, fixed it. Now you can use it for anybody. The bathroom is so nice, very private. Got a nice sink. You have a toilet. You have also a walk-in shower. And the bed is very big. You can share 2 people on the bed, which is very nice. This room is called the Americana room. And look at the ceiling. Honestly, it's like you stepped into a 5-star hotel. Those right there are on that desk is those are actually called organ tabs for a theater organ, because it matches kind of like the Americana. You have Marilyn Monroe pictures. That's a nice bed. Plus you got fresh linens. They get to make your bed, every time you want your bed made or sheets changed. Over here you have a nice, beautiful shower that is big. Also, you have a nice sink. You have also a blow dryer. Beautiful lighting. Now, here's another look of the shower right over here. Well, here's another look of the room, I should say, but here's another look of the shower right over here. I had to turn the light on. And I tell you this, that shower is huge. That's like another room. Beautiful. Next time I have to get that room. This room over here is called the jazz room. Now, they had a lot of guitars and woodwind and brass instruments in here, so I had to actually give them a piece of one of my pianos that I kind of dissected, and that's right there sitting on the desk over there. But this room is dedicated to jazz musicians like Nina Simone. You got Louis Armstrong. And the staff actually had to look up all the pictures just to see what genre of music they're dedicated to. That piano keyboard came off of an old Baldwin piano that I had. So I said, you need some piano stuff up here, which I gave him some. Here is the bathroom to the jazz room. Now, one thing about us, this is a separate house that, is attached to the other house. Very nice. Look at the tile. The tile and the floor tile is very nice. Beautiful colors that kind of like invite you in. Now, there was another shared room that we couldn't actually get into because it was all occupied. This over here, this is the hallway when you first walk into the Holland, and also has it has a little kitchenette which has a sink, a microwave, and also a refrigerator. Well, everybody, thank you so much. Please click like, subscribe, follow, and go onto their website. I think you'll enjoy staying here. You can always speak to Gigi, and I will definitely post her number. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a nice day.